So, lads, welcome to the podcast. You started
Thanks, Mark.
Yooni. So, if you would, lads, just tell us a bit about Yooni and what it does.
Yeah. What will we be talking over each other here? Sure, I'll go first. So Yooni's an educational technology company, and we started Yooni to help students figure out what it is they want to do after secondary school. I think it's good to say like where it came from. We were looking at the problem of college dropout rates. Darragh and I did electrical engineering in UCC, great course, but when we graduated, about a third of the people we started the course with had dropped out. When we looked a bit deeper, we saw that's a problem that's actually spread quite severely across Ireland. So like 1 in 4 students go to college, don't graduate from the course they went into. And most of the time that's because they've chosen the wrong course to begin with. So we started Yooni to kind of help with that problem. What we have now, like it's been 2.5 years now, so that we've kind of gone through different stages. But right now what we have is a modern career guidance platform. Students can access it on their mobile or desktop. They can come in and find what we call their Yooni fit. So we have assessment technology that will analyze a student's academics, personality, and interests to match them with the best fit courses for them. They can also search courses, fill out a mock CAO, predict their points. Tons of nice features in there just to kind of make a Leaving Cert student's life that bit easier. That's it in a nutshell, Mark.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
How exactly is that matching work in the back end?
What do you mean, Max? Sorry, how is it matching?
So when you're taking characteristics for people and you're matching them with courses, how have you designed that in the back end in terms of how it finds the best course for someone?
That's a really good question. So basically, we kind of had a hypothesis when we were in college as to how we kind of developed the algorithm. We thought that, there must be successful patterns within graduates who have succeeded in college that we could use to match back to current Leaving Cert students and help them determine academically where they're best suited, just to ensure that when they go into a course, according to their Leaving Cert subjects, we're able to, determine with a pretty high degree of certainty whether they'll succeed in the course based off previous graduates. Now, when we launched back in March 2020, we actually launched the day the schools closed due to COVID, completely unintentional. But that really tested our patience for the old marketing. Yeah. But what we needed to do was basically test that side of the algorithm because the academic, analysis hasn't really been done before. Now we did that, it worked really, really well, but we realized pretty quickly that we needed to start introducing interests and personalities. So the way we work it at the moment, and we won't give you too much because it's our secret sauce, but what we do is we combine the academics, the personality, and the career interests to develop the Yooni fit. Now it's expressed as a percentage, so students can get an overall percentage of how suited they are to a certain course, but we also break it down into the individual sectors as well. So the idea is I can say, right, I am 94% matched to engineering. Academically, I'm 84%. Interest-wise, I'm 100%. And personality-wise, I am 50%. So I can actually delve a little bit deeper into the insights and, help use those insights to help me make a better informed decision. Because that's what it's all about.
Very cool.
Yeah, I hope that
brilliant.
in a simplistic enough manner.
So just to get my head around it, did you put in an initial data set, we'll say? And does the platform keep learning itself as more and more information from students goes in there then?
Yeah, you're spot on, Mark. We partnered with a third level institute. That was a lengthy enough process, but it was worth it because it meant that we were able to access data on all these graduates, basically, who, as Darragh said, there was a couple of thousand of them. They had finished college, they were successful in their degrees, and we could map back what degree they did and what they did in their Leaving Cert and match that to today's Leaving Certs. So it kind of started quite raw. Like it was a case of making a couple of different models. There's different ways you can analyze that data, testing out which was the best, iterating from there, improving on that, then expanding through to other colleges and mixing in the data we would have been able to obtain with open source data. So like there's a lot of stuff online you can pull and you can scrape. A lot of stuff when you research a course, what's suitable for what students, and kind of made a hybrid of the two, if that makes sense, to kind of bring it all back. So yeah, we're trying to improve it all the time, but that's our software engineer, Shrenik. He's a gem. He's the one doing all that for us.
Fair play. I mean, that's really cool. Very, very clever idea.
Yeah.
I'm loving these questions.
I know. We haven't even talked about marketing yet.
Yeah, we've gone off topic there already. I know I sent the lads the questions and I was like, they're rough. Like, we'll see how the conversation
yeah.
goes.
Mark doesn't even look at them half the time.
No, he doesn't. Mark does his own thing. So moving on to marketing, I suppose we better get onto it. So how do you promote uni? Like, what are the best platforms? Where do you find the students engage with you the most?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think it's a question that we're kind of constantly trying to figure out as we move along. Like with our products, we're hitting a lot of different stakeholders. We're hitting students because students want to use the platform. They want to help make their best choice with regards to the CEO. Parents are also a massive stakeholder in the decision. You know, depending on the student, you know, some parents like to get involved with the process as well. We have guidance counselors in schools who we also need to help promote to get the product going. And now, you know, more recently as well, we're getting involved with industry partners as well, who are looking to improve their brand visibility to students, and we're looking to market to them and showcase to them how, you know, powerful uni can be to, you know, help them position themselves better to the younger generation. So we have a whole lot of people to market to now. Primarily, we use a lot of social channels. Instagram, we're looking to try and get a bit more into TikTok.
I was going to ask you, are you doing TikTok? Because that would be where your target market kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something that's been on the plan now for about 3 months, and we haven't knocked it off the sheet yet. But
Darragh's been meant to be researching TikTok with a uni account, and he's just spent his time delving through the newsfeed, sending me funny videos. And I'd say there's been no uni content created yet. It's just him having the crack on the platform.
Get your dancing shoes on.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal platform.
Yeah, I love it.
It is phenomenal. We do have one video, actually, if you want to check it out.
Okay,
We do have one video on TikTok. But yeah, look, that's something that we need to get a lot more into.
I suppose it's hard with COVID now as well, isn't it? Like, I see you were doing the carpool series, and then you obviously had to stop because of COVID. So how are you adapting now with COVID happening?
Yeah, it's a good question, Nathan. I suppose, go on, I'll let you better equipped.
So I suppose we kind of we evolved out of the carpool videos in 2 ways. So we were using them; they were a great way of marketing and building brand recognition. But where that actually came from initially was in our first year of development. We were developing software. As we realized what it was we wanted to make this software platform to help students, we realized it was going to cost a bit of money. And through the process of partnering with UCC for data and also talking to them, we realized they were also struggling a bit. And a lot of colleges are actually in articulating their messages to the Leaving Cert audience and actually engaging with them. So we realized there was a bit of a market there for us to do recruitment work with different courses who were trying to get bums on seats in courses, essentially. So that's where Carpool College courses came from. So it allowed us to bring in some money to develop software. I suppose then a year in, we really kind of said, look, a services business like that wasn't necessarily what we wanted to do. So we stepped away from that into the software side of things. So I think the Carpool College courses, while we parked it, we've kind of adapted it into a podcast format now, and it also left us learn a lot. Like, we definitely learned what doesn't work with that Leaving Cert audience, what engages them, like the length of content we should put out, what works on what platforms and all that. So it was great. It was definitely a learning curve for us in the first year of development.
Yeah. So what did you find was the lengths that they were engaged with for videos?
Anything around 15 seconds is the kind of optimum time. That what we found anyway. I mean, like, look, I think everyone knows that the online market of promoting things to particularly the younger generation, they're very quick to realize what's an ad and what's not. So it's about, for us, trying to be as different as possible and try and capture the attention, whether it be an image or whether it be a video, in the fastest amount of time, and getting them to act on that ad as fast as we can. So, like, with regard to the students, it's very much about, this thing is new and shiny, click on it and find out what it is. With the parents, it's all about making sure that they feel safe in clicking on this ad with regards to their students or their children, informing them about how we can help them, and then bringing them along the process a little bit more. With regard to, the kind of the other side of the coin, then with regards to, partnering with our industry partners, like, it's about showcasing them how powerful, the younger generation are in terms of using tech, because, you've even seen it since launching nationally in September. Like, we have students from over 400 schools using the platform, purely from just, organic reach, friends telling friends, you know, this
Brilliant,
is the
yeah.
software we're going to be using, and you know how powerful it is for us to actually showcase the company's messages to the students in a way that's not in your face. Because look, I mean, we all see an ad, sale, 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 and we all just respond.
Yeah.
So I think it's about being clever in the way you message, which is, you know, extremely important, particularly to the younger.
Yeah, definitely to the younger generation, especially.
And have you partnered with any kind of people in the influencer space to bring them on board, or is that something that you have plans to do if you haven't?
Definitely plans to do it. We haven't done it a huge amount yet, but it is in the pipeline. Like what we're finding, and you know, we're trying to learn about it as much as we can, but we're trying to partner with relatively small influencers, but try and get a big volume of them on board.
Yeah.
So the way we're looking at it is that if we can get 30, say, ambassadors with 1,000 followers, that will be a lot more effective than one ambassador with 30,000 followers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but like it's still a process. I mean, we say this now that we're going to do it, but like it takes time to develop it, to make sure the relationship stays standard. I mean, one big thing for us is that, you know, our audience is recycled every year, more or less.
Yeah.
So we have 4th, 5th, and 6th years. They're not going to want anything to do with uni when they're 24, 25.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know? So it's very much about like,
that's
unless they become an ambassador. Yeah.
Well, that's where you build out your recruitment platform.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jesus, are you writing this down there? Someday, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll have all the data they're interested in already, so you'll be able to recommend them the jobs they'd like.
Yeah.
True.
Giving away all
true,
the secrets,
yeah.
Mark.
That's ideas are a dime a dozen, lads. It's the execution is the tough part.
Oh, so true.
It's very interesting though, because that must be a challenge. That, you know, because in our game, look, customer retention is a massive thing, but for you, it really is. You need that new customer essentially every year.
Yeah.
I mean, would there be? I was going to say that, you know, as you say, once someone's, you know, they're past 6 years, they're gone to college, the platform right now, we'll say, is the way it is. It's the next generation, we'll say, that need it. Have you thought of any ways or to get, I don't know, to have it in such a way that the system can work in such a way that it's going to be recommended by the people who have used it?
Like a reward
below
system
them,
kind
a
of thing.
referral system, rewards, something
or
like
like
that.
a family thing, you know, like the older sibling making sure the younger sibling uses it when they come up and it's their turn.
The family thing, definitely, like that's something that I think that's even just comes down to leaving a really good impression. So like having every student be as happy as possible, give them the best service, and if they do need to get in touch with us, that we make sure we help them through every step. Another big thing for us is getting a foothold in schools. So like while the market does recycle and the students pass on, the schools they're coming through are always there. So like we partner with schools a lot. So the big stakeholders for us would be guidance counselors. So like we'd have guidance counselors on our board. We have a guidance counselor, Irene, who works in the business with us. She's fantastic. And like, it's actually building relationships with those guys. Like they're the ones who helped us develop Yooni. Like we were showing them since the start, getting their tips on it. So we've built something that they want and that they want to use as students. So then when the next year students come through, they're recommending it to their students. They're saying, look, you should use this. You should try this. It'll help you a lot. So I think the schools are really the key for us. Like if they're happy with us and we're doing what they need to do, they'll kind of sell it for us.
Brilliant. And would you, obviously not now, but when you can go back into schools, would you be organising talks to 6-year students or?
Absolutely, 100%. Any school that we have partnered with, it's been very beneficial for us to give a webinar to the students. Just to tell them a little bit about what we are. I mean, one of the big things for us is education, and I'm not saying in a schooling way. We really need to educate people as to what our product does. Like, because it's quite a novel solution and it hasn't really been developed before and applied to this our specific market. There's a big task for us to really make sure that, look, this is what we do. We need to show them what it does. Exactly what they're going to get out of it. And like, look, we want to become I suppose the word would be industry standard, but you know, the the standard for recommendations, for guidance, you know, across the country, working with the guidance counselors, working with the students. And it's about just making sure that they understand first what they're getting into before they either, you know, like whoever's paying for it, whether it be, you know, the industry partners or the students, that, you know, it's something that will help them and it will be of value to them.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
even when you started talking about it at the start, like I'd looked it up, but you talking about it really sold it to me. I was like, I wish I had this when I was in school, you know? So it's about literally about talking to people, really, isn't it? Like that face-to-face or webcam to webcam interaction is gold that way.
It's the human element. Like people want to,
Yeah.
you want to see the person behind it, and you want to trust that they've your kind of best interest at heart. So it's hard to replace that personable bit, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So do you market yourselves a lot as well? Do you push your own personal brands?
It does help, I think. Like without, you know, Nathan and I are very conscious that it's business first, and like it's all about uni, and then, you know, if we're able to plug ourselves in the meantime to help uni, like why not? I mean, one thing we found is that as great as Facebook and Instagram are, like I think Nathan would wholeheartedly agree with me on this, traditional PR is just incredibly effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big time.
Those podcasts like this, that like I think Nathan, that's probably been the best thing for us in terms of publicity, isn't it?
I think PR, yeah, if there's a good story behind it and if it can stick and it can land, that's great. In terms of personal brands, like it's not necessarily as relevant with students and stuff. I mean, we're pushing on now, like we're not as relatable to sixth-years as maybe we once were.
I'm in the same year as you. Come on. We're still young.
So maybe we're not as relatable as before, but where a personal brand helps, I suppose, is like when we're approaching industry partners and colleges about coming on board, they kind of trust you that you know what you're doing or you've got experience. So yeah, the personal branding helps, I think. Like we always have to look at it and see, okay, how is this going to benefit the business first, and then from there.
Nathan's face works very, very well on LinkedIn.
Brilliant.
I actually tried to campaign to get Nathan's face just up on the front page of the website.
Just make
you could always test
one of the O's in uni. Just
yeah.
That's a way to crash the business pretty quick there. It's
oh, brilliant.
But the personal brand, we're always saying it from a sales point of view, is, you know, when you do go into a meeting, we'll say with a potential partner or something like that, you know, if they feel like they know you already, it does make things a lot easier, and there's already an element of trust and an element of expertise already kind of built up. Yeah. It's not like you're going in face to face for the first time completely cold. So definitely the personal brand, I think, helps a lot on from that side of things.
It does, and like people trust people. I mean, I think the biggest thing, and you know, whenever you hear about something, the first thing you do is you Google them.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that was really testament to us that, you know, Shrenik, who is our, you know, lead software developer, he's absolutely fantastic, but he first came across us by just Googling us. And, you know, if there wasn't stuff, you know, there on the front page, he might have said, oh, they look good, I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, that's really, it's just so important, like with regards to getting your name out there. So yeah, personal branding is, it is critical, you know.
So lads, I suppose from point of view of a startup, there's probably, especially with COVID, there's a lot of people gone out on their own. There's a lot more startups out there.
Yeah.
Any, from a marketing perspective, any tips for them on their journey, on their adventure?
I believe Darragh's more on the marketing side than me now, so Darragh, you'd be better placed, I'd say.
I don't know. I'd more be asking the question back at them.
I suppose just be bold and don't be afraid to try things, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, look, marketing is something like I've kind of like, it wasn't something I had a background in before, you know, doing a startup. It's something that I've kind of delved into. I really enjoy it. Like, I think one really important thing in regards to any marketing, like Facebook and Instagram will change their interfaces, the way they market the whole time. It's just about knowing how to message your product to students, or sorry, not even students, to your customers.
Yeah.
Like messaging is just critical. I read a book, it's called Sell Like Crazy. Highly recommend anybody who is selling online selling online, read it. Like once you get past the cringiness of the clickbait headlines, like that kind of, you know, methodology towards marketing, that was the biggest influence for me anyway, by a mile.
And do you do much paid advertising? So like on Google or Instagram and Facebook ads, do you do much there?
We do, yeah. Yeah, we would. So we would put a fair bit of our budget into Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Parents are on Facebook, the students are on Instagram. So we would do that. We, you know, have a few funnels going there. And as well, like providing students and parents with content. I mean, you know, the best way we found students and parents interact with our content is through educating them.
Yeah.
You know, giving them guides, giving them brochures, and, you know, without saying, you know, buy, come to us to buy, you know, you're actually giving them a service that's helping them along the way. And whenever they think, oh God, I need help with this, Yooni comes to mind.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the kind of goal, you know.
And especially when you're, you know, when you're new to the market, and it's a service that, you know, it's a first time it's ever been available. Education has to play a massive part in your marketing to teach people about what you do. You can't sell to people something they don't know they need.
Yeah, exactly.
So there has to be a massive educational element to that. So I think that's the right way to tackle it.
Yeah.
I think Darragh hit the nail on the head too, in terms of like one of our biggest things, if not our biggest driver to sales and to new account creation, has been creating free content, but that's actually valuable. So like, obviously we're doing the course recommendations, but along the way, there's a lot of things you can offer to Leaving Cert student to help make their lives a bit easier. So like we do stuff like webinars, like we'll do a webinar having like an experienced guidance counselor to present, or like we had a motivational speaker, this guy, Ray Langan, all about kind of motivation and study skills. And we like put on this webinar for an hour, run it for free. People can come in and you get huge uptake on them actually. And providing that, you kind of build trust. You're providing something for free, but that's also valuable. And it does end up rewarding. It does come back to you in the end, like in terms of like the amount of people we've signing up, or account creation is a big boost after that. So
yeah,
brilliant.
Spot on. And yeah, brilliant.
That's fair play to you. I wish you the best of luck with it in the future. Because
thank you.
It seems like a fantastic idea, and I'm intrigued by the back end and the algorithm and how
make sure to work it out
now. So absolutely fair play to you, and thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us, guys.